Okay, so day 20. Obviously, I'm in a different place. I'm in my car. The reason why, one second, the reason why I'm in my car is because I'm in the hospital, in the emergency room, because my sister passed out. Whoops. So pretty much what's going on is I'm just going to recite what I know or remember of Pee Sauna. So pretty much what happened was it starts out with the ticking clock, and then it said flashback previously on Unus Annus, and they have the sauna machine, home sauna machine, and they put beer in it, and Mark's pouring. It says pouring one out for the homies, and then it's like, oh, it's starting to waft up. Ethan's like, oh, why did I choose beer? It smells so bad. And then it cuts to Mark in it, and he's like, I love Red Bull. And he didn't say it like that, but you know, kind of like that. And so what happened was then with the Red Bull, then Mark's like, I'm going to stake this up or he didn't say that like that. He's like, well, if I stuck this up my butt, would I be infused, or I would become infused with Red Bull? And so then it goes back, then it goes, and Evan behind the camera is like, what if you did Pee Sauna? Ethan doesn't like that. And then fast forward to modern day, I guess. And it's like, okay, well, Ethan continues being like, this is the first time we're back together physically, but be safe, COVID's still very big. Mark takes over, talks about how they got tested negative, and to be safe, social distance, wear your mask, get tested. It's very serious. It's still very serious to this day, so just be careful. Unrelated, keeping going. And then they take out some cups, and they said they went to Taco Bell, got Baja Blasts, and they're going to Baja Blast out some piss. And then they go, and Ethan grabs the cup, and he's looking around, and they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I gotta pee, and I'll find a place to pee. And then they're like, well, we have bathrooms. Well, Mark said he could just censor. And then Ethan's looking around where to pee, and they're like, we can just censor it. And then they go inside, they pee, you can hear it. It's on Chica, and then they come back out. Well, Mark comes back out and says, dude, I'm fucked. You know, indicating the color of his pee. And Amy's like, well, you should drink more water. Mark's like, I drink so much water. I've been drinking so much water. Ethan comes out, and Mark's like, look, I'm fucked. Look at my color of my pee. And Ethan's like, what? And because he just walked out the room, he's like, I don't know what's going on. And Mark's like, dude, you're fucked. Look at the color of your pee. They hold up their pees to each other. Ethan has more, but Mark's is foamy, I think. But who has more? I don't really know. And then Mark's like, dude, our pee is very bad. And they're like, oh, well, why is yours foamy? And Mark's like, well, scientists out there, why is my pee foamy? And Ethan's like, there has to be one. And Mark's like, scientist. And then they make a joke that Mark made a joke that his pee looks like a light beer, but Ethan's pee looks like apple juice. And Ethan takes off his shirt, goes into the the sauna machine, and he's like, I'm gonna take my pants off in here just in case my penis is showing. And he laughs. Mark's I don't care what you do. And then Ethan gets zipped up, and he's like, I'm more scared of spiders than I am about the pee. And sorry, I want to make sure I'm not out of gas. Close though, so maybe I should turn off the car. You know, the pee, more concerned about spiders than the pee because it was left outside for a while. And then Mark zips him up and goes, oh, do I have to pour your pee? And then Ethan's like, can you check the hood for spiders? And Mark does. He's like, spiders, are you in here? And he's like, you're good. He puts the hood up on him. He grabs Ethan's pee and he goes over. He starts pouring it. And he's like, you know, there's, you know, people say that it should be completely clear, but that's not right. But they shouldn't look like ours. And Ethan's like, yeah, it shouldn't be this amber. And Mark is like, yeah, but, and then he was starting to talk, but then Ethan's like, yeah, you know, mosquitoes get stuck in there, and years later, scientists find it and, you know, extract dino DNA. And Mark's like, yeah, you know, they gonna make dinosaurs out of your pee? And he's like, yeah. And then Mark's like, dude, are you okay? And Ethan's like blank staring, and it's like, not mentally, not physically either. Anyways, then he clicks the button, and he's like, oh, I already smell pee. And then Ethan is like, are we the first people to do this? And he's still talking about that, and he's like, Mark said something, I don't remember what. Something probably mixed in with what I just said. And then Ethan goes, pioneers. A little bit too late, and it's really funny to me because I do that all the time where I'll say a word that I'm thinking of after the conversation switched. Anyways, moving on. So Mark is like, oh no, it's starting to steam, and it starts steaming. And Ethan's like, you should maybe turn it off. It's just putting pee in the machine. I guess they keep it going because he didn't get out. And he's like, oh, this smells. And so, 1 second, sorry, readjusting. So what happened is, okay, so starting to foam, starting to get pee in there. You can hear the pee going into the sauna machine. And then sauna machine, I don't know, then it's just probably, they all start Mark saying, maybe your pee just sucks, like it's your own pee, maybe it should be fine though for you, but it sucks. And then they're all dying, they don't like it. And Mark's like, if you want a safe word, say a safe word. I don't remember what it was probably like aardvark. And we'll get you out. And they're like, no, we're fine. And he's like, it's just hot pee, Ethan's saying that. And then they're like, okay. So finally Mark's like, you know, I don't want you to stay in there any longer. I'm going to get you out of there. So he unzips him, and he sorry, there's someone walking. I got concerned because I didn't see that she was leaving. I was like, is that for me? So what happened was then unzips him. Ethan just runs into the pool, jumps in, dives in, and Ethan is off screen, and Mark just goes, your love fell in pee. And Ethan goes, my love fell in pee, no. And then Mark saves the pee love. And what happens then was you pan to Ethan in the pool, and he goes, you know, everyone, pee sauna, whoever suggested that should be banned for life from life. And you know, that was pretty much it. And he's like, you know, I want to apologize, but I feel like you guys should apologize to me and Mark and Amy. And so then it cuts to Mark emptying the pee sauna machine, and then you see them back, and Ethan's dressed again, and Mark's standing there, and Ethan's like, if you cherish any of your clothes, you should take them off. And Mark's like, I will, and he passes him the lav, and then there's a miscommunication because Ethan thought he was passing the lav to speak into, but he's like, no, I'm good. And then Mark thought it was funny because he's like, no, I'm passing it to you so I can take my shirt off. And so then Mark gets into the machine. Ethan starts pouring in. Oh no, sorry. Mark's getting in the machine, and they say, Ethan's talking about like, oh, I'm a changed person. This changes us. This is horrible. This is the worst experience. Oh my God, you guys made me do this. And Mark's like, you could make it nice for me. And Ethan's like, I don't want to lie to you. And Mark's like, sweet, sweet lies. And Mark took off his pants, threw it. And Ethan's like, ah ha 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 ha, your bulge. And they zip Mark up. And Ethan is like pouring in the pee. And he pours it like starting at the base and then like pulling it higher, so it's real dramatic. And Mark's like, you don't need to do that. And Ethan's like, yeah, for dramatics, no, for theatrics, yeah. So then he's like, before he clicks the button, he's like, if you want to back out right now, you can. No one will be disappointed. You can back out right now. But if I click this button, there's no turning back. Mark thinks about it. Oh yeah, they put goggles on Mark. Instead of putting the hood on, they put goggles on him. And Ethan's like, okay, if you're gonna do this. And he clicks it. The edit's all spicy because of the clicking the button. And they wait, and Mark's like, maybe my pee is going to be better than your pee because my pee is mine, And Ethan's like, yeah, okay, it's pee, it's pee. And Ethan's like, oh, I think it's about to happen, like it's about to start boiling. And Mark's like, I can't believe we now know how pee turns into steam. It spits. It spits, it foams, and then it steams. And it starts going. Mark's like, ugh, smells bad. And Ethan's like, does it smell bad? And he's like, yeah, it smells bad. And he takes a bigger sniff. And then Ethan is like, ooh, and, make sure it doesn't get on your foot because it's boiling pee on your foot. And it would burn. And then he's like, yeah, I moved my foot away. He did not move his foot away because he goes, oh, it's hitting my foot. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to get a pee burn. And then Mark's like, how pizza's pizza, piss is piss. This isn't fun. And he's like, ugh. And he's wearing the goggles. And you can tell his face is kind of turning red. And because it's like, oh, And what happened was then, he's like, Mark's like, well, he says set timer. Like, no one said timer. And Ethan's like, well, it says 40 minutes on the clock for the home sauna machine. Mark's like, okay. And then he's like, oh, so no one's going to set a timer? And he's like, oh, okay. And then, like, you want to get out? And he's like, no, I'm good. But I'm not glad I have these goggles. So Ethan takes off Mark's goggles and walks away from him going, oh, that was horrible. And then Mark's like, yeah, I want to get out. So Ethan unzips him and he jumps out of the machine, running like he does with He-Who, his caveman persona. And he runs to the pool and jumps in. And after that, it cuts to Mark's like, ooh, that's nice, to the pool. And because I think it's summer at this point, so it probably is nice. Also hot pee. And when Mark's in there, Ethan's like, it's nothing like peeing in a wetsuit. I'm like, why? Anyways, so what happened was Mark's in the pool. Ethan's legs are back in the pool because he's sitting at the edge. And Mark's like, don't have your pee be like our pee. But stay safe. Stay hydrated. And Ethan's like, yeah, have your pee be as clear as your conscience. Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole weatherman joke. Earlier, before either of them went in, when Ethan was taking off his shirt, he's like, someone call the weather. No, that was the wrong joke. He's like, you know, what will this do to our ecosystem? And Amy's like, someone call the, maybe someone should call the weatherman. And Ethan's like, call the weatherman. And Mark's laughing. Anyways. And, yeah, and then it cuts to the countdown again. And then it cuts back to Ethan emptying the home sauna machine, full of pee, and steam's coming out of it. And that's when it ends. So, I don't think I got every sentence, but I think I memorized that. Oh man, when Mark's in the machine, I remember. When Mark's in the machine, it's like, you know, what did you do? And I think they were talking about, like, during the pandemic or during 2020, talking about that kind of situation. But Mark is, you know, talking about that, and Ethan just goes, Grandpa, what did you do at the height of your career? Well, 2020 was a good year. And then Mark's like, well, and then Ethan's like, yeah, 2020 was an odd year, I think he said like oddball or odd year. I think that was actually Mark that said that, because he started saying something else. And then, they kind of joke about that being a thing. But yeah, okay. So, yeah, I didn't watch Pee Sauna, but, I tried recording this twice. So hopefully this one's better. The first one was just a voice memo, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I thought, I'm like, oh, we'll edit it. I'm like, no, you won't. Maybe for a different one, but not this time. I'm not editing a diddly-do. I'm not freaking out of hospital at freaking 1:30 in the morning because your sister passed out. You think you're going to go home and edit crap? No, you ain't. You're going to go home and take a shower and go to sleep. Freaking 1:30 in the morning. Your sister ain't even out of the hospital yet, and you think you're going to edit? No. So probably going to do that for a different video, but maybe like the 100th, 50th maybe, but 100th, maybe then every 100 after that I'll say the lines again. But so yeah, no, I did not watch the video today technically. However, I did have to, I thought a lot about it, clearly, so it's kind of like I watched it. Hopefully that doesn't seem to not count for you guys, or for me. Hope that doesn't make me feel unworthy of watching Unus Annus Pee Sauna, but, anyways, so that's what I remember of it. I wonder how accurate, and how many jokes I missed, and how many, like, lines I've missed. I said Baja blast out some piss, right? Because I say Baja blast out some piss so much. It's not good. I'm only 20 days in, guys. I don't like that I remember all this. I don't like that I remember almost so many statements from it. Anyways, wish me luck. I'm freaking still under quarantine because my cousin's getting tested for COVID. And I hung out with him for a day because they promised me, they lied and said that they didn't do anything and didn't hang out with anybody, which was a lie, obviously. And now my sister passed out, and my finger's all bruised. Not all bruised, just the tip of my finger. I'm being dramatic about that. But yeah, so cool. Hopefully this comes out okay enough that it counts for me personally, because again, this is a personal thing. But stay safe, dude. Stay safe. Stay inside. And apparently if you pass out because you see blood, you go to the hospital to make sure you don't have a concussion. Because you pass out and you hit the floor. So, stay safe. Please stay safe during these times. Stay safe. Always go to the doctor when you need to. Trust me, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. As much as I complained, it is definitely worth checking out your health.